don't trust you.
Have you heard this message upon your completion of Stalker, Call of Pripyat? If you have, then you and several other players are alike. Hello fellow Stalkers, thanks for stopping by. Today we will be talking about more things you may have missed in Stalker Call of Pripyat. Now I spent a long time researching this video, as it was very hard to find more stuff after my first video about things you missed. But don't worry, I managed to find more stuff. Now in my first video, I mainly talked about things like forgotten side quests, but in this video, I'm going to lean a little more into the cut content side, along with little details that you may have missed on NPCs or their groups, or around the map, things like that. This video will mainly cover things you really didn't realize through your playthroughs that I managed to find during my research. Now, without further ado, these are things you may have missed in Stalker Call of Pripyat. I hope you all enjoy. I'm sure everyone is familiar with the controller cave in Zatan. Now, I'm willing to bet that you didn't know the dead body within this cave was actually a reference to Fallout 2. Let me explain. Now, his name is Marone. It's actually a reference to Myron, a scientist from Fallout 2. And the antibiotics you can find on the shelf near him are a reference to Jet, a medicine Myron made, within the story of Fallout 2. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone knows about the mission where you use an S.T.A.L.K.E.R detector to approach a spatial anomaly. In case you don't know what happens, basically you just approach it while holding the detector, you'll hear a few distress signals, and then the entire bubble will pop and spontaneously combust into thin air. Immediately following, the bodies of a duty squad led by General Tachenko will fall to the ground. Once this happens, you can go down and loot their corpses, or you'll find a PDA from Tachenko detailing how they've been stuck in an anomaly for 6 days and have not only been struggling for food and water, but have been fighting amongst themselves. Now, get ready for the really cool part. This is where I'm going to tell you the things you've missed. Now, the location this happens at, the cooling towers, is a very mundane location. Nothing really happens there. Stalkers don't really go there. But if you actually ask Stalkers about the area, sometimes, on a rare occasion, they'll mention that the cooling towers is a very odd place, as you can hear the screams of a squad stuck in a spatial anomaly. This is something that a lot of lore masters or veteran Stalkers are familiar with, as in clear sky or along the army warehouses before you free the mercenaries from the spatial anomaly, you will be able to hear screams around the area, with no origin to be seen. So does this also happen in Call of Pripyat? Well, no. The reason is they're already dead, and they can't scream for help. Tachenko commits suicide after his PDA message. His squad shot each other or have died from starvation. That is the reason why you cannot hear their screams. The Stalkers who have heard it once they were alive still. If you've made it to Yanov, you will know that there is a scientist bunker guarded by a group of mercenaries. One of these mercenaries were actually a former duty member from Shadow of Chernobyl, but that's not important. All you need to know is, once the player makes it to the Jupiter factory and collects the Jupiter plant documents, this entire mercenary squad guarding the bunker will all ambush you. Because of this, the scientists need a new squad to guard their bunker. Did you know that you could actually hire Hatchet from Zatan another mercenary squad that went rogue after a botched mission. You could even hire the Stalkers if you ask Gonta or Grouse. I don't fully remember. Either way, they are actually the two squads that you can hire from Zatan, as opposed to Duty or Freedom, which is what most players pick anyways. Now, is this a huge detail? No. It's just there to let you know that the world of Stalker is pretty small, and almost everyone is looking for a job, or a way to make money. There is a mission in Zatan where you have to find a Bloodsucker lair and somehow destroy it. Now, normally, you go to the Preobrazhensky Bridge, find the Perrin B3 gas, and gas the whole place. But did you know that you could actually take down the entire lair only with guns? Yes, this is possible. It's really difficult. The main things that get this to fail is Gonta getting in the way and you accidentally shooting him. But if you do it just right and avoid shooting your own teammates, you can actually pull this off. Now, the only way I managed to do it was on easy difficulty, but either way, a win is a win. And it proves that you could go through the mission pretty much however you want. If you successfully do this, you get several messages, either saying that you need to tell Beard about the lair, or that you need to tell him that you have destroyed the lair. Either way, you completed 2 missions in 1 mission. Now, I know anyone who's played Call of Pripyat is familiar with images like these. When you open the game, or a new save, you get a whole cutscene explaining the events of the game in this style. But did you know that there was quite a bit cut from this intro sequence that people managed to find? They had a lot more exposition, but were for some reason cut.
Talking to Stalkers yields no results. Either they don't have the information, or they don't want to share it. The Zone takes every opportunity to remind the Major that it's no resort. Not a day passes without an attack by mutants, or worse yet, people. Regular communication with HQ brings little optimism. Information is still scarce, other than the coordinates of the 5 crashed helicopters acquired by a satellite. As the Major gets within 5 kilometers of the CNPP, his radio goes dead.
Not only was a lot cut from this, but it also implies that Degtyarev had visited several other locations in the Zone before the events of Call of Pripyat, which I think would have been cool, honestly. I think it's a shame that they cut all this out, but it is what it is. Everyone who's been to Pripyat, or has had a playthrough long enough to enter Pripyat, knows the way you enter there. You come in through a strange underground tunnel or maintenance system. But did you know you could actually go back into it? While you can't really go back into the Jupiter Underground, you can actually technically go into a part of it. You just can't access the whole thing. Once you go down, you'll be at the same area you were in before you entered Pripyat, though you'll see that everything is caved in, and the way that you came through is blocked off. Now, obviously, this was just probably a small little nod to the whole underground section by GSC, just put there for players who like to explore a lot. This means that the entire underground section was about to collapse at any minute, and that the player just got insanely lucky during his time under there. You can even come back out and see what it was like from their point of view. Now, if you are one of the few actually insane people that attempted this, and don't worry, I'm one of them, you might know this already, but did you know that you can actually shoot down birds in Call of Pripyat? Now, I know you can in Anomaly, you can even loot their corpses, despite the fact that they will have nothing on them, but you can actually kill them and they'll fall to the ground, and they're actually 3D objects that you can actually move around. They have collision and everything, which is surprising. The only downside is you cannot shoot them down with Gauss rifle shots. Now, one thing that logically makes sense but isn't in the game is looting armor off of bodies. You can't do this really in any of the games, but there is one instance where you can actually do this in Call of Pripyat. Some of you may already know this, but haven't really thought about the fact that you could take his armor. I'm talking about Barge in the strange chemical cave.
God, and that old drunk. Not only is he a lazy bastard once he's had a drink, it's better here. We need to take it easy.
Now, I showed this in the beginning of the video, but just in case you forgot,
I don't trust you.
this is a mystery that has puzzled stalkers for many years. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I had been researching this whole thing for like weeks, and just for me to find the answer
I don't trust you.
and then find out that Anomalous Dugout had already covered it. But the original source of this message or audio is from it. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't fucking know what his name is. All I know is that they care about Matai. Yeah, it comes from this guy. But apparently it happens in Pripyat because it's a weapon holster message. Now, one thing I've really wondered, and I'm pretty sure you guys have too when you've played Stalker Call of Pripyat, is why the bandits are neutral in Zatan, though in Jupiter they are all completely hostile. Well, I have the answer to that. In Zatan, they are mainly led by Sultan, which, if you don't know who Sultan is, he is the bandit leader in the Skadovsk, and he's actually in Stalker 2, believe it or not. Here's some footage of that.
I'm the Sultan, and this ship is mine.
I still don't really care. I
Play
kind
by
of fucking
my
hate Stalker
rules,
2 anyways.
you'll have
Now, normally this is really odd, as if Sultan is the leader of the bandits, then why are they completely hostile against his wishes in Jupiter? Well, the reason is they just happen to be another group of bandits led by a completely different person. This person doesn't really have any significance to the story, but he is the person holding Matai hostage, and this is Shishak. Now, another telltale sign of this is their facial model, as most bandits tend to have the same models in Call of Pripyat, though these bandits actually have the Shadow of Chernobyl version of the bandit's face with their balaclavas. They have the different textures that was seen in Shadow of Chernobyl, and only 2 of them have it. Now, a lot of people actually overlook this one. This is a character death that is mentioned by Trapper in his dialogues. Now, he was hunted by the same chimera that you have to hunt for Trapper for 10,000 rubles. But this stalker is Fox. If you don't know who Fox is, he was this one person that Marked One would meet in Shadow of Chernobyl. And you actually save him once you meet him. Now, in Call of Pripyat, you don't get to see his body or anything. You just get to see the chimera that killed him, and you get to avenge him for Trapper, which is honestly a pretty cool nod to, you know, what could have been just a basic side mission to just kill a chimera. Now, I'm gonna talk like this again because it makes me sound smarter and it makes the video a little creepier. Even though it doesn't, it's a fucking Stalker video. Anyways, one thing people don't really ask themselves about is the anomaly names in all the games, such as the Bitumen Anomaly. Now, normally I just assume that some whack-ass scientist named Bitumen had just discovered the anomaly field and he decided to name it after himself. But I actually found out that bitumen is a type of oil similar to asphalt. I'm not an expert on any of those. All you need to know is that it's similar to asphalt and it's a bit flammable and can be an oil. And I guess what this means is the road near Jupiter had eroded so much and a fire anomaly had spawned near it, and it just happened to turn into a giant anomaly field as the oil kept eroding and eroding. Now, the gravitational anomalies don't really make too much sense, but at least there's a reason for the fire being there. One thing that you might not have known about Topol is that he actually carries a detector on him. Most of his squad does, but if you kill him, you could actually see he has a Velez detector in his inventory, which is a little cool detail as he works for the ecologists. Though later, once he joins Iskra, and if you kill him again, you will actually see that his entire inventory has changed. Now, this is obvious as he gives you a bunch of equipment, so he must have been carrying it at least. But if you do kill him, you'll see that his detector got upgraded to a Svarag detector, which is a cool detail. Another cool detail is when you actually shoot any of them, Herman will comment that he won't let stalkers in for a while, which means that him working with Topol and his squad was kind of already off the books, which is a little cool side note. Now, all you stash hunters know about this, you little stash hunters, you're all so cute, you're so cute! Anyways, there is actually a door in Dredge Station that you can open. I did not know this, despite playing the game for so many years. I did not know that you could open this door and get a stash through it. It's a pretty shitty stash, but it's a cool little detail that you can open more doors in Zeton than you know about. Now, I know you're going to say this is not Call of Pripyat. I know that. I know this is not Call of Pripyat. But hey, don't worry. This is just a little bonus fact. I wanted to share this with all you fellow stalkers because a lot of you guys don't actually know that the Anomaly is also an anomaly. That's a funny sentence. Anyways, it's a harmless anomaly that is essentially just a zero gravity field. It's the lift anomaly. It was cut from the game, though was just kind of left in as an oversight. It was probably intended to be cut, but hey, it's here. I don't know what else to say. Just the fact that items can float in it and that you can float in it as well. Just know that it's kind of buggy and is honestly really weird. Side note, because this anomaly was only in Shadow of Chernobyl, that game had no detectors, it means you cannot detect this anomaly at all with any detectors. Now, this is a thing that has really puzzled people for years when playing Call of Pripyat. A lot of modders also run into this issue when it comes to mapping out the game, but you cannot access this entire area of Central Pripyat, which is a shame. Though, you can actually see it from the Prometheus movie theater. You could only see the Policia Hotel, and that's about it. Mainly because the House of Culture is blocked off by the hotel, which is a good way to save on models, but I like to think that it was originally going to be included, as the model was actually pretty high quality for an out-of-map model. The other main reason I like to think that the entirety of Pripyat Square was originally going to be included is because the grass models of the whole floor is included as well. You can actually see the Ferris wheel and everything, though all the sidewalks are just like their real-life counterparts, and they're lined up perfectly. All they just need is to be fully lined up or detailed because they're pretty low res, but it really seems like this area was also going to be planned, though there's a lot of things that could be used to explain this. It could just be a mapping out thing. What I mean by that is like measuring the distance, or just getting they probably just used the PDA map, honestly, but it's a little cool thing to think about that we might have seen more of Pripyat, even though our side of Pripyat that we got was honestly a really good one. I'm really grateful for the side that we got. I just wish that we got to see the House of Culture a bit more, as Shadow of Chernobyl's version was honestly kind of ass. Now, I'm not trying to be too mean about that, you know. I love GSC. I'm happy that they added it. You know, it's an amazing game, an amazing map. Though there are just older versions of that map that were honestly way better, and I don't really see why they chose what honestly was one of the worst ones. Though, I might explain more about that version of Pripyat, as there's a lot of development, lore, associated with it. It's a pretty big mess, and it might be a good video. Now, here's a little quick one. The anomaly fields within Pripyat actually have their own area names, which you can't actually see on the map. They have their own names, Vine and Volcano Anomaly, but the reason why they're not there is because stalkers just haven't visited the area. Originally, it was planned to be locations that you could see on the PDA map, but GSC decided to remove it for continuity. Now, fellow stalkers, get ready, because this whole fact is pretty interesting. The Jupiter Underground was conceived several times as an idea. It originally started possibly in Shadow of Chernobyl as just a Pripyat underground area, though it may have looked drastically different. though we do know for sure that it was conceived in Clear Sky, and it was originally going to be a level after the Lemansk Hospital, though it was cut for not really any known reason, probably because the whole area of Pripyat was just not meant to be seen in Clear Sky, but we don't really have an answer. All we know is that it originally was known as the Pripyat Underground, and not the Jupiter or Pripyat 1 underpass. Now, luckily, I'm surprised no one else has shown this, I managed to find several concept arts and screenshots of this version of the underpass during Clear Sky's development as a prototype. You can actually see that the excavator from the quarry is present within the underpass, which is kind of strange, honestly, though I'm kind of glad it got removed, as the space that we got is honestly way more creepier and way more fun than what the images actually show. And it all went well because the whole excavator was so massive that it honestly deserved to be its own location. Now, this is the end of the video. I want to thank you all so much for all the attention and support that you guys have been giving me for all my Stalker content. I'm really surprised that of all of my videos on my channel, Stalker blew up, as it's a pretty niche thing to be a fan of, though I guess I could thank Stalker 2 for that. Anyways, I just want to really say thank you, and I do want to give you guys a heads up on what content's looking like. I am still doing a lot of Stalker content. I have quite a few videos planned for Stalker, though I just want to let you guys know I will be branching out to other stuff. I'm not going to be quitting Stalker. I will still be doing videos related to Stalker. I just want to give you guys a heads up. I might be doing a Hello Neighbor video and a few Minecraft videos, maybe even some more different games, but I just want to see what you guys think about it. Just let me know in the comments what you think, if you guys think it's a good idea. If you guys really want to see it, please let me know, because I will get straight to work on it. But I really, first of all, just want to thank you guys for all the support and all the attention I've received. I honestly couldn't be any more grateful, and thank you guys so much for watching.